What I need to mute? Ding. We got booted. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Fancy. That's unfortunate. We just chatting. I forgot to just, change the stream info before I went live. Well, I did. I just forgot to save it. Oops. Oopsies. There we go. Do do do. I don't. What's going on? I don't know. Don't want to get too sucked in. Don't want to stay up too late. I know. I'm chatting. I'm chatting. Hmm. Hey. The dog. Wee. I don't know. Load up Stardew. Sticky business. Or Daylight. Shall I answer questions? I don't know.
How?
Hello, oh, rollies. Nice roll. 13. That's not bad. Lucky number 13. That's a win. That's a win. That's a good number. Good number. Good number. Woot woot. Mm-hmm. Diddle-oo. Diddle-oo-doo-doo. Mm. I don't know. Wonder if any of the new VIPs will be here. No, I'm waiting for the notification to come through my phone. If I can pull it up. Okay. Do 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 do. Oopsie doodles. Whoopsie doodles. Drink my milkshake. But gone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Question. Purple. Alrighty. Well. I'm gonna load up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really feel like playing a video game today. Kinda. Got Repo, but I'll probably play that tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Howl.
Nice. Mm-hmm. 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 Rude? Rude? How dare you? How could you back for that? Where is everybody? I don't think just sitting here is a good idea. I should probably do something. Alright. Words. Okay. I don't think it's fair that you ask a question because you know the answer to that. But I see what you're doing. I decided to start streaming as I really like playing video games, and the best way for me to a living off of that is to let other people watch me play video games. The safest way to do that is to stream. And the safest way to stream for me is the VTuber model. So that's why I don't have a face cam. I have the VTuber model. This one for now. And it's just me playing video games. Just me playing what I like to play. Stardew, Marvel Rivals, Our World, Hades, Do No Harm. I don't know. Tiny Glade. I like Tiny Glade. I haven't played A Little to the Left in a while, so. I have to turn that down. The volume was loud. Ow. A second. Gotta rearrange here. There we go. Just a little bit. Actually, pop that out. That back down here. This over. And switch to live scene. Oh, right. Hang on. There we go. And there we go. Now you can see the game. I can see the chat. In the stream. I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Stop. Okay. Okay. I got it figured out now. Still think that's a little loud. Headset. Okay. Hope y'all can hear that pretty well. Alright, let's do the daily tidy. Stamps. was too easy. Oh no, I don't want to do it again. Done everything. Yeah. Original George is 100% as well. You know what? I think I saw level reset. Full progress. Drink game. Reset and level start. The settings will not be affected. Set it and start all over again. Start with covers and George. Woo! Oh, I see. Super easy. 1 star to 1 star. Next.
Incoming!
Oh! A raid! A Zonavox, thank you for the raid! You're awesome!
Oh, howl.
Hope you had a good stream. Hope you're doing well tonight.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
I'm answering questions tonight, so if anybody has any questions for me about anything at all, feel free to ask, and I will answer to the best of my ability.
Incoming!
Oh my god, 2 raids in a row? I have Lord again! Hi! Thank you! Another shout out. Welcome, Raiders!
Around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Hi, hi, hi! Hi again, it's good to see you. Let everybody know I am answering questions of any kind tonight. Playing a chill game. So if you have any questions for me, any questions at all, feel free to ask and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Trying to figure this out. Got a wonderful question? Ask away. I'm all ears. A witch and a vampire together? Are you sure that's a good mashup? I would love to collab. That would be so fun. There's that spot. Part cat, part demon. I mean, cats are usually a witch's familiar. I think I can make it work. Let's go there. Okay. Yeah. Just hit me up wherever, whatever kind of socials. And we'll figure something out.
Oh, how?
Crescent? Hello? I'll pull up your questions in just a moment. Yeah, Vamp, I got a day job, so I got that to worry about. Yeah, we definitely follow each other on TikTok. I think you're in my Discord. If not, I will link it here. There it is. You can go join. Oh, that goes there. UR's awesome. Well, the Discord's for anybody else who wants to join as well. All kinds of fun stuff in there. Oh wait, what's not right? That's right. Oh, I got the highlighters back. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and add me. Absolutely. Things out. Caps. Okay. Let's pull up Crescent's questions, because Crescent asked me some questions on the TikTok. Okay. First question is, what is my favorite movie or series? Oh, goodness. My favorite series? Ooh, that's a tough one. But I'm kind of partial to the Lord of the Rings series. And I know, movies leave out so much. But they're such good movies. They're such good movies, all 6 of them. They're great movies. And you can't really put... If you put too much detail into it, it becomes a 5-hour long movie. When at that point, you might as just well make it a series. And I get why they did movies and not a TV series. It totally makes sense. But I'm very partial to Lord of the Rings. I got the notification, Vamp. I will add you back in just a moment. Favorite food, snack? Yeah, all 3. The first 3 are definitely 12 hours long. For sure. That's not even the extended cut. Favorite snack or food? I love sushi. I love sushi. I love Asian food. Noodles. I love noodles and rice and deep fried Asian food, and oh my gosh, sushi. I am a sucker for sushi, especially if it involves salmon. Favorite snack though? I mean, I was a fat kid once, so potato chips. I also like tortilla chips and salsa. Ooh, you has sushi. Awesome. Gotcha, Vamp. And the last question is, do you enjoy daytime or nighttime more? I am a night owl. Unfortunately, I have to be a morning person, but I am a night owl. I thrive once the sun goes down, so now that there's more daylight, more daytime, and the sun is rising earlier and earlier, I'm not a happy camper. I am not a morning person at all. I'd very much rather sleep until noon. Like stay up until 3 a.m. and sleep until noon. But unfortunately, I have to be a night owl, so I have to go to bed at a semi-decent time. But if anybody has any other questions for me, comment them, please. I will see them. I have the chat right up in front of my face, so you don't need to like double up or anything. Thank you very much, Zonavox and Vamplord, for the raid. You guys are great. I'll be answering questions all night, just chilling here, playing the game. Just playing the game. There's 4 options for this. For a few hours. I'm gonna... Monstrous energy. Oh yeah, you did join the other day. Accept. Alright. I accepted your friend request, Vamp. We'll chat later. Okay. Back to the game. Where am I at? Ends. That's the biggest one, I think. Crescent, I haven't played Coder. K-O-T-O-R. I remember it's some long thing. But I haven't played that one before. I did look at it, and it looks like something I would play. Matching caps. Missing a cap. Oh, they're there. Your cap. There it is. Okay, apparently that's not the right thing. 3. There we go, that's one. Star Wars D&D? Ooh. See, Star Wars is another good series. But I'm a little behind on that. We're gonna go do small to long time. BioWare back before Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Yeah. Is that one smaller or is that one smaller? I think that one's smaller. And then... yeah. Then we match the... oh no! No, yeah, that one's smaller. Then we match up the caps. How is that still not right? Okay, so... cap height. Just shortest. This one. And that one. That one. Up. Up. Wait. Wait. No, that's not right either. Oh my goodness. Okay, so... that way. Okay. You're gonna give me a hint? Well, I did that. The first thing I did. Okay, what's the next one? I did that too. Wait a sec. Yeah, it's supposed to match the caps. Oh. It just had to be weird about it. Okay. So we did the spirals. Or the lines. And then we did the cap size. So what would be next? Oh, the lines on the cap. So that one goes in the middle. This one goes here. That one goes there. That one goes in. There. Nope. That. Okay, see? Oh, got it wrong again. There we go. I got it that time. Alright, if anybody has any questions for me, ask away. I'll answer anything. to the best of my ability. So I did capside. Oh, it's the bases. Thought it was the tips. That one up be. Not the tip, it's the base. Oh, that's not right. Okay. Oh gosh. Anonymity? I like the secrecy of who's the man behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz style. I like the secrecy of it. Like, because you're not coming to me just because I'm a pretty face. You know? I'm coming to for the personality. And that's what matters to me. Yay, I got all 4. I don't want to be like all these other femme streamers that rely on their body for views. Nothing against them. More power to them. That's great that they can do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want that to be my image. That's not me. So I went with VTuber. Yeah. And it's like, it's like I get to design myself. It's like I was given, I'm being given this character creator screen, and I can make myself look like however I want to look like I wanted to for so long. And this model here, from Hyper Online on Steam, when I first pulled it up and saw myself as this model, it was like a light bulb blue. And the sun came out and I could see myself, finally. And honestly, I can't wait until I get version 2.0 here in a few months. And really have it look like me. Like how I want to. Because this is just a base model with free assets. Nothing special. Thank you. That was a wonderful question. Exactly, Azanavox. Exactly.
Oh, how?
Yep, I only need 8 followers to 90, and for the concurrent viewers, I am at 2.8 of 3. So I am so close to affiliate right now. Oh, no! Lilac! Don't you go doing nothing special now. I don't need all that. I mean, I've already surpassed what I thought was going to happen. I thought it was going to take till Christmas to get affiliate, and I'm already almost there. my goals for streaming are... It's funny. I got... Gosh. It's been a few weeks now. At least a month ago. At least. I got a fortune cookie that said something along the lines of...
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you
Thank you,
down.
Mod. It said... Hang on, let me pull it up here.
Fetch me their soul.
Coca-Cola. I love that name. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. I got a fortune cookie that said your talents will have a chance to shine. And money will come when you're doing the right thing. Oh, here it is. Your career will take a positive turn. Oh. Chaotic Carmi, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. You're awesome.
Oh, how?
Hi. This fortune cookie reads, your career will take a positive turn in April. And considering it's the third week in March, I have a pretty good feeling about hitting affiliate in April. So that's my goal right now, is have affiliate by April. And the way that we're going, I have no doubt we'll get there. I have no doubt. Yeah, we got this. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the followers and the viewers and everybody chatting. And my amazing mod, Master of Magic, who just did the shout out for Dead Lilac. He's streaming right now too. You should go check him out as well. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you all. I mean, I know you're here for me and to support me, but I wouldn't be here without your support. And that's what matters to me. Thank you both for the follow. Thank you, Lilac, for bringing in more people to the coven. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask away. Just a chill stream tonight, relaxing and chatting. I'll answer any kind of question you got. I'm missing a flower. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There we go. There was only one, right? Okay. Rooms! Oh, I remember this one. E. That goes there. Rollies! What'd you roll? A 10? Ah, right down the middle. Crescent rolled a 15. Let's go.
Fetch me their soul.
Kokiri! Oh, hello! Thank you for the follow. Uh-oh. Hey there. Welcome in. I'm answering questions tonight. Any kind of question you may have. Ask away. Oh, these go down here. There we go. Wait. There. 9 people watching. Yeah, I know. It's great. Simple one this time. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Invisibility. Nope, I take that back. Shapeshifting. Yep, shapeshifting. That's what I'm going with. What's going on here? Oops. Oh, the glove goes there. You know what? I was just thinking free train and plane rides, but you're the one who went creepy with it. So that's all you there, Crescent. Oops. Okay. Oh. I was wrong. Goes down. This goes up here. There we go. Yeah, but the shape-shifting thing goes hand in hand with the VTuber model. Oh, magic. Don't be weird. But the shape-shifting goes hand in hand with the VTuber model. I could look however I want to look. And it's along the lines of Mystique from X-Men. That kind of shape-shifting. Where I could alter my physical appearance to look however I wanted. The way she would have herself look normal, quotes. That's what I want. Also, I could do like really great impersonations. Kitty! Aw, kitty in the sink. Can I pet the kitty? White cats, though, are terrors. Oh, lunch. Okay. Can you, like, fit into the tray, please? There we go. Ooh, fall. I am a fall baby. I was born in the fall. That's my holiday. That's my season. If it's crisp, cool air, and just, oh, the weather's awesome. Fall weather. Ooh, hello. Rye in the sky? Is that how you say that? Hello, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the coven. We accept your patronage.
Oh, how?
Hi. Thank you very much for the follow. Fallen, not necessarily rainy, because cold, wet is not fun. But the dry, cold, with the crisp leaves, and that doesn't go there either. With the crisp leaves and that nice chill. Crisp leaves with a nice chill in the air, but the sun's still warm. That kind of thing. That's my jam. Can we get this broccoli to fit, please? What is going on? Oh, that goes there. Okay. Nope. Nope. Okay. The kind of weather where you can... Oh, this goes over here. Curl up under a blanket in the shade and take a nice nap. Oh my goodness, I cannot figure out this broccoli. Oh wait. Be the sandwich. No, because the sandwich can't go down there. Oh yeah, you know what? I think you're right. That goes there. No, it's not gonna lock in there. It locks in there. That locks in there. I feel like that goes there. Oh, you know what? That sandwich. You're talking about that sandwich. I got it now. I got what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We got it now. Now I just gotta... Okay, that's gonna have to wait. I'm missing a bean. Alright, if anybody has any questions for me, ask away. Don't want Crescent asking all the questions now. I'm just kidding. What? Get it to lock in. Anywhere. Oh wait, there we go. There we go. I got it. That isn't from the last 20 years? Now. Okay. First, Lilac, what are your goals as a content creator? Spreading positivity and positive growth and growing a healthy, happy, friendly, welcoming, safe community. That's like the ultimate goal should be the ultimate goal of any content creator. And for me personally, that really hits home.
Oh, how?
Thanks, no. Aww. I just a little cutie. Being a feminine sounding non-binary individual, I get misgendered a lot, and it used to bother me a lot, but now Ninja Turtles, right? Obviously Ninja Turtles. I'll get back to that. But the safe community and just helping other people just because it's the right thing to do. Not for recognition, not for brownie points, not for a yay trophy, I get the cookie because I helped somebody. No. Helping people get to where I am because I want them to have that success as well. That's my ultimate goal as a content creator, is being able to help everybody else get to where I am. Because I know how to get there. I know what it's like. I've been through it. And I want to be able to help everybody else. Ah, woo. The best kind of goals, absolutely. Next question from Magic. Mod. You're not allowed to ask any more questions, Mod. It's not fair. Favorite movie that isn't from the last 20 years? An oldie but a goodie. Fox and the Hound. A very good Disney movie. My favorite Disney movie. Fox and the Hound. I'm a hound dog. Copper and Todd. I love those. It's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. Ryan Sky. Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles? Ninja Turtles. I could not watch Power Rangers as a kid. I couldn't. It was just, it's too campy. It's awful. The acting is just bad. Especially when they're in the suits. Come on. I mean, absolutely no hate to anybody who likes the Power Rangers. I get why you like it. Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles hits a soft spot because that's a movie that me and my dad would watch all the time. And Master Magic, has the movies damn near memorized, so I just couldn't get into Power Rangers. It just wasn't my thing. I had the OG movies. I didn't have Saturday morning cartoons because Saturday mornings were for deep cleaning the house. Yay. The Mystic Force.
Oh, Howl.
Pocky! Look at you. Oh, also, by the way, Crescent, Pocky, you have VIP badges now. Yeah, y'all are always in here. You deserve those VIP badges. Mystic Force was great. Yeah, almost at 100 followers already. And I'm so close to affiliate too. It goes up there. Okay, thank you for the lurk, Rye. Oh my goodness. Wait, favorite Disney season. RPM. RPM. See, I didn't get to start watching what I wanted to watch until I was like 15 or so. So I missed a lot of the good shows when they came out. I watched a lot of reruns. The animated show I like most. Ooh. Pick a genre. Because, I don't know. Favorite animated show I like most. Oh gosh. I don't know. Honestly. Animated show I like. Oh. Go backwards. Animated show I like most. I'm partial. Honestly, the first one that comes to mind was the original Teen Titans. Like the original Teen Titans in both movies. Oh, oops, I hit the wrong button. That one is definitely a favorite. It was like the beginning of my childhood. Yeah. That one stands out the most because I watched that one at my most influential age. So that one, oops. So that one hits home. For me. Definitely holds a special place. Beast Boy and Raven. Beast Boy and Raven are my favorite. Ah. For multiple reasons. I love Raven's storyline in that so much. Witherspoon. Great couple. Great couple. They really are. You don't go there. You go there, though. Alright. Draw. Nope, that doesn't go there. And as cute as Robin and Starfire are together, I honestly think that Cyborg and Starfire make a better couple. Don't hate me. But that's just me. Because they get each other so well. It is. And the episode where her sister is like marrying her off to this awful alien. Yeah, Blackfire. Yeah. That episode where Starfire gets forced to marry. And that whole conversation with Cyborg about being nothing. That the chemistry between those two. It's undeniable when you really think about it. Like, really think about it. Oops. Okay, I want the cupcake. Can't have it. Yeah. Exactly. But they couldn't put that in a kid's show. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Exactly what it was. Oh, get stay. I love those teapots. The other cupcake. I don't. How this one goes. Honey goes there. It very much goes there. Where does this go? Oh, nope, over there. No? I have no idea. What? Okay. What is going on? That's not right. No. No, that's not right. Okay, that's supposed to be there. Okay, I got it now. There we go. These are on the wrong side. Oh, come on. There we go. That one took a while. Okay, anybody have any more questions for me? Ask away. Any kind of question. What's this notification? Aww. You're amazing. Hi, Zoe. Thank you. Are you still here? That has to. Nope. Nope. I don't like these hang stuff. Cutting board. That. There, obviously. It goes over here. Curve with cutting board. Like. Nope. That obviously goes there. There. I love puzzle games. I love these puzzle games. Honestly. It goes there. Okay. There we go. I'm really good about seeing the bigger picture. I am like, and I'm gonna humble brag here for a little bit. I'm really good at Tetris. Because I look at the bigger picture. I look at what it's gonna be, not what it is in the moment. So if I can see all the pieces that I have easily, I could see where they need to go. I'm really good at packing a suitcase. Yeah, I should, honestly. It's been a while since I played Tetris, so I'd have to get back into it. There for now. do 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 do. Goes up there. It goes there. There we go. Yeah, I wouldn't say pro gamer, but I was really good at Tetris. But like I said, it's been a while. I played. That was unintentional, but it worked out. Get off of it. Okay, so we got 2 of those. 3 corn.
Fetch me their soul.
Hey, Mrs. Element X. Element X as in Powerpuff Girls? Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Ta-da. I'm answering questions tonight. Hi. Oh, thank you. One of my friends sent me over from your Twitch link. Wanted to help with the follower goal. Oh, well, thank you very much. Which friend? I'll give him a shout out. Thank you, thank you. I'm answering questions tonight. If you have any kind of question at all, feel free to ask in chat. I will answer to the best of my ability. I'm just gonna throw this in here again for the masses. Oh, Lilac. All right. Yeah, I gave him a shout out earlier. So. Yeah, thank you again for the follow. If you have any questions, ask away. Kitty, what are you doing? Don't you knock over that cup. Don't you knock over that cup. I know you're gonna do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, you're lucky you're cute. Mr. Element X. Oh, I love that. Lore accurate, Kitty. Absolutely. Oh, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something, but I forget. Light bulb. Oh. Oops.
Fetch me their soul.
There's Mr. Element X. Welcome in, my friend. Your arrival was foretold.
Oh, how?
Hi, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Yes, I've played Unpacking too. It very much reminds me of that. I actually have it. We're off somewhere. Where are we off, chat? Well, thank you. I only need 2 more followers now till 90. That's awesome. Thank you all so much. And I am I'm 2.8 out of 3 concurrent viewers to hit affiliate. So I'm pretty sure after tonight I'll hit it. I'll have affiliate by this weekend. So there goes my goal for affiliate by April. That's awesome. Why isn't this working? Oh, it's the pencils. No? What's going on here? We'll definitely be able to do that. If not tonight, I'm streaming again Friday and Saturday, so it'll definitely be free by then. Definitely. Definitely by this weekend, I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly confident. Like 80% sure. But I'm answering questions tonight. If anybody has any kind of question for me, any kind of question at all, go ahead and ask away. And I will answer to the best of my ability. Hopefully better than this game right now, because it is kicking my butt. I don't know what's going on here. Waffles! Of course. Those little pockets hold the butter and the syrup and the whipped cream and the fruit so perfectly. You can't go wrong with a waffle. Plus, chicken and waffles, amazing. Exactly. See, Crescent gets it.
Fetch me their soul!
Little Lucifer 69. You're amazing. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in.
Fetch me their soul!
Oh, there it is. There it is, chat. There it is. You might have given me a shout out. Mrs. Element. Mrs. Element, how dare you? How dare you? Guess what?
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Hey, you're awesome too. Hidakai? K? Hida K? Heda K? I'm sorry. I don't know how to say that. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. 90th follower. You just hit the goal. You're awesome. Thank you very much. If you're gonna stick around, feel free to ask any kind of question. I'm answering them all as best I can. While I play a little to the left. Why isn't this working? Okay, I'm breaking out the hint. Because something's not right. Oh, the cards are backwards. The cards are backwards. Instead of high to low, it's low to high. That's not... There we go. See, that shouldn't matter. Can't believe that. Follower goal of 90. Oh my gosh, 90 followers. That's a lot of people. Okay, this one's got multiple solves, I can tell you already. That's one. Are all the tabs lined up? So, okay, so we got 3. Next is the paper. Oh, gotta do it again. Okay. Yay, gold star! Thank you! Appreciate you! Couldn't have got to 90 without you. Oh, that goes there. There you go. And then the paper. Number 2. Oh my gosh. 90 people follow me. 90. That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable to me. Go to green. Green to red. Red. Yellow. Yellow to blue. Wait. Now hang on. Yeah, that's a big number. Thank you, Rye. Thank you, Pokey. Sorry. Every time I see Pocky, every time I did it again. Pokey, Pocky. Every time I see your name, I move that O in dog and make it Pookie. Pocky, Pookie. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking around and chatting and following. Y'all are amazing. Okay. We're gonna start with blue. Blue writing, green paper. Green paper. Green writing. Red paper. Yellow paper. Yellow writing. Paper, red writing. Paper, green writing. Green. No, that's not it. Ah! Blue paper. Blue paper. Blue writing. Green paper. Green writing. Red paper. Red writing. Yellow paper. Yellow writing. Red paper, red writing. Green paper, green writing. Blue paper, blue writing. Blue. I don't... Okay. Blue paper. Blue writing. Paper. Green writing. Red paper. Red writing. Yellow paper. Oops. Yellow paper, yellow writing. Okay, I might have to break out the hint for this one because I'm not getting this third puzzle. I got the tabs. Starting with yellow and blue, so forth. And then I got the paper. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the color of the writing and the color of the folders. But I'm not sure. I can't figure out the pattern. Okay, pick one and just go with it. 3 red, 3 yellow, 3 green, 2 blue. So what if it starts with blue? Blue paper, green paper, red writing, red paper, yellow writing, yellow paper, blue writing, paper. Blue paper, blue writing, green paper, green writing, or red paper, green writing, paper. No, that's not right. Okay, I'm breaking out the hint. Unless anybody has some kind of inkling as to how this puzzle goes, I would be ever so grateful. But I'm about to break out the hints. Oh! It was just amazed by my energy. It just couldn't stay at itself and had to have a moment. I'm having problems with this puzzle. Okay, let's start. Let's go with red paper, green writing. Green paper, blue writing. Nope, this one. Green paper, blue writing. Blue paper. Writing, yellow paper. Yellow writing, red paper, red writing, green paper. Writing. Red paper, red writing, yellow paper, yellow. Yellow writing. Green, red. Gosh, I don't know. I have no idea. Green paper, blue writing. Writing, yellow paper. Yellow. Yellow paper. Yellow writing. Paper. Writing. Green paper. Oh wait! Nope, that's not it either. Okay, I'm breaking out the hint. Okay, we did the tabs. Yep. There it is. Okay. So yellow paper with blue writing. Yellow tab. Yellow with red writing. Red with yellow writing. Red tab. Green. Okay. Reset it. Yellow paper with yellow writing. Yellow paper, blue. Red writing. There we go. Gosh, that one took a while. For anybody just stopping in, I am JasperRaySpookyThey. Welcome. Thank you. I'm asking any and all type of questions tonight, so if you have any, just hop into chat and ask away, and I will answer to the best of my ability. I place some little to the left. Oh boy. Okay. That obviously there. Okay. There. Been a while. Oop. There we go. Ah, no. Go back. Oh, there we go. Why are you floating around? Oops, wrong. There we go. Ta-da! Alright. I'm a wiener. Is that a Rubik's Cube? That's supposed to be a Rubik's Cube? That's Jack. It's been a while since I played. Oh, I remember. Haha. Oh, wait. Haha. No way. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Alright, there's that. Joysticks. The obvious PlayStation games. Come on, stand up. Here's you. There we go. Yeah, those go in a certain order, but I'll get there. Those are just... These go up. It helped. Maybe? Okay. This one's... That one's gonna stay out. There. One. What? No, it's the green one. Then there. Ta-da! Okay. Then we got orange, yellow, and red. Oh wait, there's red. Light green. A dark green. Oh no, black. Oh. Okay. That's right. That's right. That's right. I know. It's like, this works in real life. Why doesn't it work in the game? Orange, yellow, tan, red, light green, black, white, dirt green, purple. I feel like that's right. I feel like that's right. This... What's wrong, I think. It's not button placement, because they're too different. Oh, I see. No? I might have to break out the hint for this one again. Yeah, I got that right. I got that right. That doesn't matter. That doesn't. Okay. I don't understand the pattern there. Oop. Wait, was it again? Oh. I don't understand the pattern. Oh, no, wait, I see it. It's the height off the ground. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. That one got me. One possible Oh boy. Okay. All these pieces over here. Puzzle goes up here. All kinds of games. Okay, that's a corner piece. Yeah, this is a big one. Yeah. Goes there. That goes there. Okay, hang on. Those two pieces go together. Those pieces go together. What? What? Wait. Where's the kite? Nope. Okay, that goes there. That's all right. Oh. That goes there. What is going on here? I know what's going on. Here we go. Okay. Okay. I got the big piece down. Okay. What's going on here? Doo doo doo. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Huh. Or I'm a... That goes there. Okay. Okay. Lane goes there. Let's go down. 3. X goes there. Oh my goodness. Marble goes there. Okay. Gummy bear. Oh wait, the gummy bear goes there. That goes there. Missing something. What? Apples go there. Okay. Oh. Space go here. Um. Missing it. Missing a piece somewhere. Oh no, wait. Where's the heart go? Oh no, I see. I see. Okay, everything else is right. Except for these. 4 minus 3 minus 2 is... Oh, that's not it. 3. Oh, there we go. That one took a while. Okay. Lures. Fishing lures. Oh gosh, I remember this one. This one's hard. This one's really hard. Okay, so those are all right. Let's go there. Oh, no, wait, go back. Mouth harp goes down here. Nope. Fish go here on this. Oh, no, I want the fish. I want the frog. I want the fish. Give fish. Give fish. Put all the fish. Oh, that goes there. That special fish. Fish. Bug. Okay. Where's there? Fish. Fish. Worm. Bug. Bug. Worm. Hook. Fish. Worm. Gossip. Gossip now, Crescent. Thank you for stopping in. You're amazing.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
You're awesome. Thank you so much for stopping in tonight. And thank you for the questions. I very much appreciate you. Oh, just... Worms. Have a good night. Sleep well, Crescent. Whoops. Just so satisfying how everything fits so perfectly. Don't believe him. Woo! Okay, got that done. Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. What goes there? The bugs. My bugs. My bugs. My bugs. Okay. Thought it was. Oh, I got it mixed up. It is most of these spots. These. Okay, so that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, it's got to be with the bugs. Oh, it's the humps. Okay. It's the bumps. Bumpiest. These bumps. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Doodaloo. Wait. What's wrong? Oh, the knife's off. Wow, chat. Wow. Welcome in, everybody. I am JasperRaySpookyThey, playing some A Little to the Left tonight, answering all of life's questions. Not really, just all of your questions. Any and all questions that you may have. I will answer them to the best of my ability. Whether they be about me, the world in general, anything. Just keep it relatively safe. If you catch my drift.
Oh, how?
Wakashi. Yes, welcome back. Hello, how are you doing tonight? Yes, any question within reason. If I feel too uncomfortable answering it, or if it's not appropriate for stream or Twitch TOS, then I won't answer it. But feel free to ask any kind of question. Oh, this one. Okay. Kitty. Owl. There are like 3 answers to this problem. Big ones. Round ones. Okay. The big square ones. Oh, there it is. Color. Black one. Next one's shape. So the circle ones. Square ones. That one considered circle, or is that one? And the oval. I did. That's not right. Oh. Guys, oh. And then those all something on them. Where's the do not? Ta-da! I did it! Okay. I'm gonna play or be on for about 15 more minutes or so. Because I do need to cut this stream short. I have to be up extra early tomorrow. I know, it sucks. Work. Day job. Yay! But anyway, yeah, I'll be on for 15 more minutes or so. Oh, I got that right the first time. Oh, shit. You saw nothing. Snip, snip. Scissors. Scissors. Buttons, buttons, shut the button. Cushion. There's so many buttons. That goes there. Oh, those are scissors. Okay, those go there. That is a knife. There. 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 There is a brush of some kind? Pencil? I don't know. symbol. Let's open the most. Missing a safety pin. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yellow. You can also sort these size and holes. I'm just doing color because it's B. No? Nice. Whoop. Let's shift color then. Oh, it's the zippers. Here we go. Alright. 10 minutes to ask a question before I hop off for the night. Points. I knew it. Missing a piece. Where'd it go? Rain in the Sky. Have you ever played Infinity Nikki? No, I have not played Infinity Nikki. It looks very pretty, though. It looks very pretty. Definitely recommend. I'll have to check it out. Oh, there it is. Ooh. There we go. Alright. Alright, any last questions before I hop off of here? Hmm? Any last question? Any at all? None? None? Have you drank water recently? Yes! Yes, I have. I drink water every day. I have like 1 soda a day and 2 cups of coffee, but that counts. It's being water, it counts. Yes, I drink my water today. I take my medicine with water. I have a question for you. Have you drank your water? Did you? Oops, sorry. Of course. Good. Good. Drink your water. Hydrate. Hydrate yourself or you will die straight. That's no fun. Oh my goodness. Stay safe. Y'all are great. Thank you all so much. We're gonna do a raid. I'm gonna find somebody to raid real quick. Let's see. Who is streaming right now? Okay, we are going to raid. Ha. Uh. We're gonna raid my mod. No CPs obey. Okay. Oh, Crescent. I'm sorry. We're gonna raid my mod, everybody. Knock. Oh, wait, no. Ignore that.
Oh, howl.
We're raiding! With 5 viewers, 6 viewers. All right. Here comes the raid. Here comes the raid. All right, everybody. Stay safe. Stay sane. Stay hydrated. Behave yourselves for Master of Magic. He's a great guy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you, Jasper.
Why are you following me?
So very much for stopping in. We're playing ESO with some friends here today. We're still trying to get linked up with those friends, but we're working our way through it. Oh my god, I'm still getting attacked, aren't I?
I need you to stay awesome.
My name's Master of Magic 420. We're a variety streamer over here. We do quirky little things here and there, playing different games from ESO to Balatro and Enshrouded. And occasionally we'll be streaming and playing games with JasperRaySpookyThey, especially on the weekends